Why we don't believe that we can do it better? We have to believe, you have to be positive to try to change the things. This is why we're not gonna give up. You know, the only give up is the guys who is weak mentally. Well, I remember when I was 18, 19, 20.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever been told you're too small, too far, too late, too unknown? Have you ever looked at your surroundings and thought, how do I even get out of here? Now picture this. A kid, no spotlight or privilege, just a dream bigger than the sky and a fire that no one could see, but he felt it every second. He didn't grow up in a football academy. He didn't sleep in luxury. He didn't have fame knocking on his door, but what he did have was work and a mindset that said, I will show the world who I am. This is the journey from a small island lost in the ocean to becoming a name the world couldn't forget. And so, humble beginnings on a small island, the journey began on a small island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, far away from the bright lights of the stadiums and the roaring of global crowds. This place, though beautiful and rich in natural scenery, was not known for producing world-famous athletes. It was quiet, tucked away, isolated from the pace of the big cities. Life there was simple, people worked hard, communities were tight-knit, and luxuries were few. But sometimes greatness grows in silence and dreams are born in the most unexpected places. In those narrow streets and sloped alleyways, a young boy chased the ball wherever he could, barefoot, with friends, or even alone. The ball wasn't always new, the shoes weren't always there, and the field was often just a patch of concrete. But none of that mattered. The fire burned too strongly. The love for the game was raw, pure, untouchable. Football wasn't just a sport on that island, it was a lifeline, a way out, a vision of something more. While others played for fun, he played fun. His family made sacrifices so he could dream. He saw struggle and instead of letting it break him, he let it shape him. He never felt sorry for what he didn't have. Instead, he focused on what he could control. His effort, his mentality, his passion. Every morning, he woke up with a sense of purpose. Every afternoon, after school or chores, the ball was back at his feet. There were no excuses, no distractions, only the sound of the ball bouncing against the wall, the occasional shout from his mother calling him in for dinner, and a voice inside saying, keep going. That small island taught him values that would never leave him. Humility, work ethic, gratitude, and grit. He didn't need flash. He didn't need anyone to believe in him more than he believed in himself. And even when the world wasn't watching, he played like it was. That's where it all started. Not in a stadium, not in a magazine, not on television, but on a quiet street in a faraway place where a boy refused to let his surroundings define his future. Early sacrifices and leaving home young, he was just a kid when the decision came, leave everything behind or stay where it was safe. It wasn't easy. He was young, still learning about life, still needing comfort and support. But there was something inside him that knew. To reach the top, he couldn't stay in one place. So he packed his bags, said goodbye to the island, to his family, to the only world he had ever known, and stepped into the unknown. Moving away at such a young age is never simple. He wasn't just leaving home, he was leaving warmth, security, familiarity. He was heading to a bigger city, a faster life, a place where competition was fierce and kindness wasn't guaranteed. He had to grow up quickly. He had to learn to handle pressure, homesickness, and loneliness, all while proving he belonged. There were nights when the room felt cold. There were calls home with tears held back. The food's different, the language sharper, and the people tougher. He missed birthdays, holidays, family dinners. But each time he stepped onto the training ground, he reminded himself why he was there. He wasn't there to be comfortable. He was there to be great. It wasn't just physical training, it was mental warfare. He was judged, pushed, doubted. Older players didn't take it easy on him. Coaches didn't hand him anything, but he kept his head down and worked. He didn't ask for favors. He didn't complain. He showed up early. He stayed late. Every touch of the ball was done with intensity. Every run was a statement. Every drop of sweat was a down payment on his future. Most kids his age were enjoying their youth, but he embraced it. He didn't want average. He didn't want easy. He wanted to be the best, and he knew what that would cost him. When you leave home that young, you either break or you become unbreakable. He chose the latter. And while the rest of the world saw the highlights later, the truth is, this part of the journey was where the foundation was built. Alone, quietly, far from the cameras, sacrificing what most wouldn't, because he had a dream and he was willing to bleed for it. Facing adversity and criticism with resilience, he was never the golden child in every room. He was the target. Critics called him arrogant, selfish, flashy. Teammates doubted him, opponents tried to intimidate him, and the media questioned everything, from his attitude to his decisions. But he didn't let the noise shake him. He used every word, every doubt, every challenge as fuel. The more they pushed against him, the harder he pushed back. He didn't run from adversity. He trained through it, stood tall in it, and let it sharpen him. While others folded under pressure, he thrived on it. Relentless work ethic and discipline. He didn't rely on talent alone. He treated it like it wasn't enough. First to arrive, last to leave, always seeking an edge. While others celebrated one win, he was already planning for the next. Every meal, every rep, every hour of rest was calculated. No shortcuts, no distractions. He lived like a machine with a mission. Even in victory, his mindset stayed locked in, obsessed with the idea that there was always more to be done. Turning pain and doubt into motivation, he remembered every loss, every injury, every time someone said he wasn't enough. Instead of letting it break him, he let it build him. But it wasn't something to avoid, it was something to learn from. Doubt didn't slow him down, it lit a fire in him. He turned setbacks into setups, using every failure as a lesson, every scar as a reminder. The more they questioned him, the more he answered, not with words, but with work. His motivation didn't come from applause, it came from the silence of being overlooked. Never satisfied, constant hunger for improvement, no matter how many goals, titles, or records he achieved, he never saw it as enough. He didn't dwell on past success, he wasn't chasing applause, he was chasing perfection. After every game, win or lose, he studied, trained, corrected. He saw weaknesses others ignored, pushed limits others accepted. The hunger never left him. Every season was a new mountain, every training session was a new challenge, and every day he woke up with the same mindset, better than yesterday. Fame didn't change the core values, the spotlight grew brighter, the cameras followed everywhere, and the world watched every move, but the foundation stayed the same. Same discipline, the same hunger, the same routines. While others lost themselves in fame, he stayed grounded in what got him there. He still trained like the underdog, still lived like every goal had to be earned. The wealth, the recognition, the status. They never replaced the values built on that small island. He didn't let success soften him. He let it challenge him to remain true. Obsession over talent, consistency over comfort. He never relied on raw ability alone. Talent opened the door, but obsession kicked it down. He didn't chase greatness occasionally. He chased it every single day. While others rested on potential, he trained like he had none. He repeated drills 1,000 times, perfected the basics, lived in the details. Consistency wasn't the goal, it was his identity. Comfort had no place in his routine. He believed the real difference wasn't talent. It was how far you were willing to go when no one was watching. Inspiring the next generation through action, he knew eyes were watching. Young kids dreaming, copying his moves, studying his mindset. He didn't just talk about work ethic, he lived it. Every action was a message. That discipline matters, that belief is powerful, that dreams require sacrifice. He trained with intensity, not just for himself, but to show others what's possible. He became more than a player. He became proof that where you start doesn't define where you finish, and don't define where you finish. His journey became a blueprint for anyone daring to dream bigger than their surroundings, proving that limits are meant to be broken. Records weren't walls, they were invitations. Challenges weren't warnings, they were opportunities. Every time someone said a can't, he responded with a watch me. He didn't believe in ceilings. He chased numbers that seemed unreachable, goals that felt impossible. Not to satisfy ego, but to test the edge of human potential. He proved that greatness isn't about being lucky, it's about being relentless. His mindset wasn't to match the best, it was to become the standard that others tried to match. Don't just clap for the story, write your own. From the island to the world, the message is simple: obsess, work, believe, repeat. You want more of this mindset? You want more fuel for your fire? Subscribe now. This is Motivate with CR7, where excuses end and greatness begins.